As President-elect Trump considers whom to appoint to his next cabinet, CNN reports that the next Attorney General, quote, will be among the most important roles he fills, unquote. And one of the unresolved questions hanging over President-elect Trump's return to the White House is what happens to all those criminal and civil cases against him. Let's bring in our panel of legal experts. Paul, let me start with you. I mean, it seems to me, and I'm no expert, you are, I'm not, but it seems to me like it's all just over. Like, Jack Smith is winding down his 2 federal cases. Mm-hmm. The case in Georgia has fizzled like Alka-Seltzer. The judge in the New York hush money case is now considering a motion to just toss his felony convictions. He's certainly not going to do jail time or any serious punishment. Like, am I wrong? Like, this is just done. He won. It's gone.
Yeah, they won. Delay, delay, delay. Work. That was the strategy throughout all of these cases. Push back as far as you can for as long as you can in the hopes that he is reelected. He would have the federal cases dismissed, and then the state cases would either just remain in limbo or also be tossed out. And right now, as you said, Jack Smith is talking about how to wind down those 2 federal cases. They will never go to trial. All we'll really hear from Jack Smith is his final report that he'll issue to the Attorney General. It'll be made public. And then I would expect that Jack Smith will likely appear on the Hill as other special counsels have. We're unlikely to hear a lot more from him. Highly unlikely that he'll be sentenced in New York. The judge is considering whether he has immunity and the conviction should be tossed and there shouldn't be a sentencing. But as I reported last night, Trump's lawyers are also going to argue you can't sentence a president-elect. He has constitutional powers. So they will likely succeed in, if not getting that canceled, at least delayed. And the Georgia case will just remain in limbo, and it's unlikely he'll ever face trial.
Ellie, in the New York criminal case, how much of a chance do you think Trump's legal team has in succeeding entirely just based on the immunity argument, like this needs to go away?
Well, Jake, it's always difficult to get a trial judge to throw out a jury's verdict, but I do think Trump has a perfectly reasonable and quite persuasive argument here. Essentially, he's going to argue some of the evidence that was introduced against me at the hush money trial related to my conduct during the time he was president in 2017, including his communications with Hope Hicks and other White House advisors. His argument's going to be under the immunity ruling, which came out after the trial. The Supreme Court said that I'm covered. I can't be charged for anything to do with my communications with the Attorney General, probably with the Vice President. So he'll argue these should have been excluded from the trial. Therefore, I get a new trial. This should get thrown out. The DA responded, well, that evidence wasn't really all that important. There was plenty of other evidence. But the problem is when the DA addressed the jury, he said that evidence of Trump's communications with Hope Hicks was utterly devastating. That's a quote, and was a key piece of the puzzle. Now, Judge Merchan has not ruled in Trump's favor on the big issues, so I don't necessarily expect him to do so here. But this is not some frivolous throwaway motion by Donald Trump.
Tom, you've served in the U.S. Justice Department. You heard Trump thinks that his next position, the next Attorney General he appoints, will be one of, if not the most important role he fills. We've seen lots of different kinds of attorneys general in the past. Democrats are furious at Merrick Garland. He's been independent, and that he hasn't been partisan enough for the Democrats. Donald Trump, when in his first term, would often complain that Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr weren't enough of a Roy Cohn figure. They weren't loyal enough to him. What happens if he just goes with a complete loyalist that does everything he wants, and is that possible?
Well, it is possible. I mean, the president has a prerogative subject to Senate confirmation of choosing the man or woman he wants in that role. And I think you're right. And that's certainly one lesson President Trump drew from his first term, is that he wants someone who will be, in his view, loyal and responsive to his wishes, serving as Attorney General. I think that lesson was then reinforced during the Biden administration, where the president saw someone, an Attorney General, who exercised some degree of independence and distance from the president that appointed him. I think the lesson Trump draws is he wants someone who is loyal, someone who will execute what he wants to do. One other thing to keep in mind, though, is that because it is a Senate-confirmed position, the new Attorney General will not take office on day one. There will be some period of time, it could be days, could be weeks, could be months, until the Senate confirms that person. So a lot of what we've been focusing on, what happens in the first 100 days of the Trump administration, may not necessarily be executed by the new Attorney General, but rather by someone who's already in the Justice Department and gets appointed to serve and manage the Justice Department for the first few months in an acting capacity.
Well, we've seen, like the Attorney General in Texas, for example, filed a lawsuit that was just insane, trying to disenfranchise 6 states that went for Biden in 2020. I mean, there are established attorneys general, state attorneys general, that have no allegiance or adherence to basic fact, much less the law. If he gets somebody like that confirmed, which seems entirely possible given the makeup of the Senate, what then happens if he says, okay, go after my political enemies like I want you to, which he has said he wants to do. Go after the news media for reporting things that I don't like.
Right. And look, I think that's a very real possibility. And I think when Trump says things like that, I think you have to take him exceedingly seriously. You have to take it seriously. But as a practical matter, it is not entirely without guardrails. One guardrail is that the Attorney General is just one person at the Department of Justice. An Attorney General cannot file a complaint and litigate a case and prosecute a case all by himself or herself. They are going to need the involvement of lawyers, career prosecutors, line attorneys at the Justice Department to pursue these cases. So that Attorney General is going to have to be persuasive to some extent. In other words, it's one thing to appoint someone at the top of the bureaucracy, but it's another thing for that person then to be able to persuade the hundreds and thousands of lawyers who, serve their careers as government lawyers to go along with that. The other guardrail, of course, is the courts. If you prosecute someone, you typically need a grand jury or a federal judge to approve those charges. That's another guardrail that's important here.
All right, Paula, you have some new reporting about one of President-elect Trump's lawyers, his lead attorney. His phone's been hacked. What is this?
Yeah, we're talking about Todd Blanche, one of Trump's, as you said, top criminal defense attorneys, the architect of that delay strategy that succeeded. I've learned that last week, Blanche was informed by the FBI that his phone was accessed by Chinese hackers. They were able to obtain some of recordings off his phone as well as text messages. Now, during this briefing, I'm told that Blanche was told that most of what was obtained had to do with sort of innocuous family communications. There was nothing disclosed to him about anything related to the president-elect. Now, of course, those would be privileged communications. It is hard to imagine a Chinese government actor getting into that phone and only looking for innocuous communications, but that's what I'm told Blanche was told during his briefing with the FBI. But this is part of a broader effort by our foreign adversaries to hack into phones, both high-profile Democrat and Republican candidates, and it's the second, or people aligned with the candidates, it's the second of Trump's lawyers whose phones have been compromised.
But do we have any idea how they did it? I mean, did he click a link that he shouldn't have clicked, or are they just able to get into any phone anytime through back doors of telecom agencies?
So as I understand it, that is it. This was another breach via telecommunications companies. That's how they were able to get in. They're obviously very sophisticated, but Todd Blanche is also a high priority target. This is someone who's going to have a lot of information about the president-elect and privileged information that we may not even know about his criminal cases.
Horrible. All right, thanks to all of you. Appreciate it. The future of Donald Trump's legal cases may look less threatening for the president-elect, but that's not the case for some of his advisors, his former advisors, who are still very much dealing with legal woes. That includes former Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani, back in court today in the defamation case against him, given an ultimatum by the judge. CNN's Caitlin Polantz is outside of court in New York. Caitlin, what did the judge decide today?
Well, the judge told Giuliani that if he hasn't given Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss the luxury items that Giuliani owns already, which he was supposed to do last week, he's got until the end of next week to do so. He has to get them exactly where the lawyers are telling him to send them for Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss. It's a Joe DiMaggio shirt that he has out in storage in Long Island. It's a car in Florida. The keys and the title have to be turned over to Giuliani. And if he doesn't do these things, he'll be held in contempt. Now, Jake, this has been a tug of war between the lawyers for these two Georgia election workers and Rudy Giuliani's lawyer, a man named Ken Caruso. Today in court, Giuliani was there himself, and throughout the proceeding before this judge, his attorney standing there speaking to the judge, Giuliani's muttering at the defense table. He's beckoning his lawyer over with his finger. At one point, his attorney says it is vindictive for Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss's lawyer to want a family heirloom wristwatch that Giuliani got from his grandfather. And the judge said, "Come on, that's ridiculous. The law is the law. I don't apply it differently to your client." And then a little bit after that exchange, Giuliani's attorney walked over to them and said, essentially whispering, "We tried." Jake?
All right, Caitlin Polantz, thanks so much.